Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures. So today it's Sunday and like every Sunday, this is going to be This Week in Action Figure News, episode 36. And did we get a lot of news this week? So of course, Hot Toys is going very strong and is clearly announcing that they want your money and that they're hitting hard on every single level. Now, there is some good stuff, there is some okay stuff, and there's some really bad stuff. Then of course we're going to be talking about Hyia toys with some GI Joe and some kind of GI Joe related but not really GI Joe. Also we talk about Hasbro, who has teased some things that I'll be talking about at the end of this video. So yeah, there's going to be a lot to go around. So of course I decided to take this picture again. So of course we do have this being a tease from Hot Toys. Of course we still don't have this guy who's been announced. I guess they're saving him for the 30th of April or maybe a little bit before. Then we have those two guys over here, and I will be also talking about this one over here because there's the bloggers who release some pictures, and yeah, bad. Anyway, let's start by what Hot Toys has came out with, and of course, I'm not going to be doing them in order, but there's a reason why I'm going in this direction. So of course we have Weapon X, so this one is going for $270. Again, I think this one should have been an Ono production. If they still want to do it, I can understand that the seamless body is a kind of a very interesting body, and as you can see, we're going to be talking about a lot of seamless bodies that could and should have been applied to other figures. So of course, yes, the figure looks great. Do I want it? Still no. I'm not a big fan, like you may know, about Wolverine. I do like him in the movies, but not going to be really interested of having this one. And again, there's a question of room. How much room do I have to put up everything I have? And that's where lies my problem. So yeah, for now, it's going to be a pass. Afterwards, I'm moving to Darth Maul, and the reason why I wanted to move first for Darth Maul, because this is again a very disappointing figure, for my opinion, due to the fact that it does take a lot of the same parts from the Clone Wars one that they did for season 7, and again, I don't understand what Hot Toys is doing with their figures. Again, this like new developed lightsaber blade in the wave shape, who's really nice, but you have to enhance all of these effects. There's some people that you can find on Facebook or maybe on eBay that have done some custom swords to go and have a more powerful light effect than the ones done by Hot Toys. And I cannot believe that Hot Toys cannot give us something better, because I can understand that you were constrained with the batteries, because that can be understandable that you cannot give too much power. But when you have a USB LED and you cannot give it more power than it has, well, that is very disappointing. And of course, decided to show again the Wolverine body, because as you can see, seamless body, and over here we don't have a seamless body, and I do not understand why you did not do a seamless body and picked up again the same body that was with the one from Clone Wars. So this really does not make sense, and maybe some people will be pointing out it's due to the fact that they wanted to give him maybe more movement, and maybe the silicone is not as good for posability because of time. But again, this articulation here is not a double jointed elbow. So again, if you want to have double jointed elbows, this gives you extremely possibility, especially if you're doing military figures or this. You will know it with the G.I. Joe Classified, or even if you go for the previous Hot Toy figures, you will know also about it. But this one gives you a 90 degrees angle because it's not going to go any further due to the fact the way it is. And again, if you can make me a body of a Predator that is completely siliconed, I mean, you could also give me a silicone body for this, because it's not the paint applications over here that are going to cause any problems. So again, I think this is missed opportunity for Hot Toys to do something a lot better. Maybe we get a 2.0 who will have all of that. But again, very disappointing. Continuing with disappointing and ridiculous, here we have Luke Skywalker Artisan Edition. So, of course, this is from episode 8, and I do have the original figure that came out back in the days. Again, I do like the idea of him walking around, gives me this mythos Obi-Wan Kenobi figure done by Sideshow. They had also a statue line who was where he was brought out first, and I like the idea of having going him around in this way. But again, this is a total scam on the behalf of Hot Toys, and the reason why I'm saying this, it's like, well, we're giving you wool hair. And I'm like, okay, great, you're doing an artisan, so it's supposed to be your new top-notch figures out there, the best of the best. Hot Toys has produced, stunning hair, craftsmanship, and all this kind of stuff like you did for the DX. I can understand that you want to deluxe or whatever it was called, but then you're giving me the beard in plastic. So facial hair is in plastic, and you're giving me real or flocked hair for his hair. I mean, come on, Hot Toys. I mean, can you be any cheaper than that? I mean, you could have given us, Enoch can give us this for Gimli, can give us this also for Gandalf, and he has a bit of a beard. You could have put facial hair done in the same way as this one, shorter, and it would have worked. And then you can come in here and say stunning hair craftsmanship, because this is not craftsmanship at all. And so for me, this is a big no-no and a huge figure that should be not even went after. Sadly, I know that a lot of the people who are Hot Toy fanboys are going to run after this figure and going to pick him up because, well, it's Hot Toys and it's an exclusive and people are going to pick it up anyway. But if I'm as a collector and a fan of Star Wars, this is a big disappointment for me if you're giving me only the real hair and no facial hair who's real. Now, continuing with some more Star Wars, of course, as you know, Hot Toys has really gone full on Mandalorian and Grogu. And for me, it's a bit worrying that they decided to go so much into the movie, a bit like what they did with the Fantastic Four figures, where they really went out on hoping that it was going to be the movie that was going to bring back the MCU to its glory moments. Sadly, that didn't happen, and I think that Hot Toys is also going down the road as the Mandalorian and Grogu could bring back the glory of Star Wars. Now, sadly, I do not believe that's going to be happening, so that's going to be something that Hot Toys will have to work around at a later date. And again, this figure is for me also a bit of a disappointment. I'm happy to see him, but again, the color compared to the cartoon version, if you've seen my thoughts about these guys that I did when I did a video this week about it, and again, there's a lot of differences between. I can understand that the movie decided to go with the TV show. The live TV show went in a different way, but again, you could have gone with a lighter tone with the zebra markings, because he does have them, and also over here get with a lighter skin color and go onto a more purplish look for his facial hair, because that's what it is. And of course, if you look at the cartoon, he does not have hair over here or on his forearms. He has more of a skin like this with zebra markings. So anyway, it's still nice to see. Again, this is a figure that I will see if I want or not, depending on how good the movie is. Now, moving on to some more classical Star Wars, if we can call it like that. Of course, this would not be my classical Star Wars, because I grew up with the original trilogy, episode 4, 5, 6. I did see the prequels a bit later on. There was some good, some bad about it. But I do do like a lot episode 3. I think it's one of the better ones that they did out there. To say it was the best of the 3 that they did. And I guess by watching Clone Wars, Bad Batch, it kind of made it even better. So, of course, we're getting an episode 3 Yoda, 2 head sculpts, fantastic, a light up saber, who's going to be, of course, USB, so that's pretty cool. The fact of getting some arms with no kind of seamless, I would call it, seamless front arms and no wrist articulation is also very interesting. I don't like the clips way of doing it because putting it in out can be damaging. I like the idea of being able to put him like this. I'd be kind of curious to see how much maneuverability, if we can put it in that way, for his legs, how the articulations are going to work to be able to put him in this position. So this is something that I will be very curious to see when they show this figure for real. Continuing with, of course, Revenge of the Sith, I am very happy to see Clone Commander Gree. Of course, I do have some issues with the figure. I mean, the figure itself is perfect, but I'm going to be a bit nitpicky again with the hands. This is something that I think Hot Toys has a huge problem with and should be given some more pointy fingers, like order pointing or other kind of handsets who make him really look like a commander and pointing out, showing like Sideshow did. Sideshow did a really good job. The other part I am a bit surprised. I can understand due to the fact that this is a movie version of the figure. They decided to go with no head sculpt. That was done with the Sideshow one. And the last part I'm a bit disappointed with is you got Commander Cody that you made twice with the system with the arm where you had it's battery operated and you would have some light going up into the hologram of Palpatine. Would have been nice to have this reused over here, even if you may not want to go back to batteries. I can understand that, but that would have been a nice add-on. Otherwise, put aside that, this figure looks amazing. So I was talking about these guys here, and they are out, and this is some pictures. I took 2 pictures from the bloggers, and I'm looking at this, and this feels extremely cheap. Everything on here looks really plastic, and it is plastic. There's nothing like real material that could have been used. There was so much opportunity to be able to do something, but you can see the articulations. Everything here would have worked if you're trying to say that you are the top notch in action figures. I mean, even Hasbro could stick on a few hairs on his, give him some facial hairs and some eyebrow hairs. I mean, this is nothing new that couldn't have been done. But again, the figure looks really, really cheap for something coming out of Hasbro. This would be a toy from Hasbro. I would say, yeah, I understand why they went this way, but this figure looks pretty bad. And here's another picture, of course, from behind, and Grogu looks really good. I have the first one they did, and this one looks good, and it's going into the same kind of vibe of going into it, but this looks really good. There's a lot of detail going in, but over here you can see the articulations, the fact that the articulations, if you start moving, start not to match up, so you can really see the line over here. And over here, like I said, this looks like a really, really cheap toy that was made by Hot Toys, and this is such a disappointment again. And this is where I come into the part where you could have used a seamless body for this one also. So I can understand that may bring up the cost, but again, give us something that is worthy of your name, because this is something that I expect to find in Ollie's or Ross, because it's been cleared out because Hasbro is not selling them. But I mean, for Hot Toys, this is really not looking good at all. So, continuing with the last news who was released today. So, Hot Toys is going back to Aliens for the 40th anniversary of the movie. So it looks like they got some more licensing fees going around, because it looks like they're teaming up with Reebok. So it is nice to see that this is a size 9 US, so we know that Sigourney Weaver, or should I say Ellen Ripley, is a size 9 for shoes. So yeah, little joke aside, the shoes do look pretty nice. The fact of having the Reebok logo on it is a little add-on that I'm not going to complain about, but if it would not be there, it's not going to be necessary. Now, of course, you know my politics about 2.0s, and I'm normally not a fan of it, but these figures came out so long time ago that yeah, and they were pretty bad also, let's be honest. There was some great gear to go around if you wanted to customize and build up some Space Marines. There was something to go around, but due to the fact that Hot Toys, and this is something that a lot of people didn't know back in the days, and this is going to be a bit of a Easter egg part about it, pointing it out. What happened is Hot Toys got the license, and you may know, if you've been following cinema a lot or are a fan of the Alien franchise, Star Wars franchises, you will know that the only people who signed over their likeness was with George Lucas for Star Wars. But when Aliens was made, Predator was made, what you got is two different licenses. So the license would be for Hot Toys, and this is what happened for both movies, Predators and Alien. Hot Toys got the license for making the characters, so they could make Ellen Ripley, Hicks, Vasquez, Drake, but they did not include the likeness of the actors, because then they would have had to pay some extra money. And it looks like that Hot Toys may be going that way, because if they're ready to give money to Reebok, well, I guess they must be ready to give some money to, of course, Ellen Ripley. But the question is, how much figures are we getting? Are we going to be getting only Ellen Ripley, and they're going to do two versions like they did back in the day, one where she's dressed up like this, and then afterwards have one with the power loader? I mean, if you still have the molds for the power loader, it was a pretty good one. Might need some course corrections apported to it, but it was a pretty good vehicle that I will have to dig out and put on display. We'll make a short about those when these are going to come out, because I know where the box is with all my Alien figures, the Space Marines and the power loader from Hot Toys. So I will make a video about that, and going to be doing some shorts also for it. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming out from Hot Toys, and this is going to be very worrisome, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm interested, and sadly I don't have unlimited funds for it. So I will have to really choose carefully what I want, and this is even when you have the flex pay, is also something that comes in handy, but at the one moment you can't have 50 flex pays open either, because it comes up with a lot of money. So maybe Hot Toys needs to space out, especially if they're the same kind of licensing and people may be attracted to both licensing. This would be a good idea to try to spread out your productions to be able to get it. Let's say if you would get this figure in 2028, that would be a really nice gesture from Hot Toys, so that you can spread out your payments. Anyway, let's move on to Hyia Toys. So, of course, Hyia Toys gave us some more new G.I. Joe figures, and they decided to go with Tiger Force Bazooka. So, of course, before that, we got Dusty. So, I guess we'll be seeing a bit more Tiger Force figures from them. I do like the idea and how they did the figure. I didn't wanted to put more pictures. I did post some on Facebook regarding this, but again, we always come to the same principle about the figure. The figure looks kind of interesting, looks not bad. I think that they did a nice feature that Hasbro didn't do, and of course you can see with Bazooka, he does have the different markings on the shells that go into his bazooka, who was not the case with the one that the classified line did. So I think that's some good points for it, and I really like the idea about it, and I think it's a good idea. Again, I can't spread myself all over the place. I would like to once maybe pick up a figure from these guys to see how they really feel and how they look. But again, I have a lot of stuff coming out that I'm more interested and I need to put my money to. So, of course, we're going to be talking about another character that was released, and this one is not going to be a 3 3/4 inch figure, and this is going to be a 6-inch figure that has an appurtenance to G.I. Joe, because this figure should have been the first real life, or let's call it real life, person to integrate the G.I. Joe and become G.I. Joe training. And of course, we are talking about Sylvester Stallone in the role of Rocky Balboa. So, of course, if you have been reading the comic books, you will know this little anecdote about Hasbro wanting to bring in, of course, Sylvester Stallone as the trainer for G.I. Joe. Now, I do like the idea that they're doing it, and the figure itself, I don't know. The head sculpt is not really that great. I was hoping to see something a bit better than that, but I'm enjoying to see the Rocky figure himself, and this is something that I'm kind of tempted to purchase, because of course it would be nice to have him going up against Big Boa, and of course having Cobra versus G.I. Joe. I mean, with the Trunks, who are with the American flag. This is from Rocky 4, of course, that because those were the ones from Apollo Creed. So yeah, that would have been pretty nice. I do hope they rework the head sculpt, because the head sculpt is not that great. I mean, this can be very interesting, having putting him like this with Big Boa over here with his also beaten up head with a tooth missing. That would have been a very interesting thing to do. But when I'm looking at the head sculpt, um, I'm sorry, I don't see Sylvester Stallone at all in it, and I think this is very surprising, because I guess these figures will be also going up to on sale on Sylvester Stallone's page. So I don't understand why for the likeness is really that bad. And as you can see, there comes with a lot of gear, and there's going to be even more gear when we're going to see everything that comes with this figure. And the head is not working at all for me. So I don't understand why they're going on that route. So here is everything that you get with the figure. Now, I find it very interesting that they decided to give, of course, the wing to go with it. But as you can see, you could put 2 figures there. And I guess they might be coming out with some more figures later on. So if we have this, we might get Ivan Drago also on the line. And then you can build up your full wing for the fighting. But again, this is a question. Do I want to put, I think it's $108, and if you include the tariffs, it's $130 for my collector friends in the US. So it is a lot of money, and of course, like G.I. Joe is coming out with some more stuff, of course, because we have the month of June, who's G.I. June. So, of course, there's already some stuff who's been announced, and that's what we're going to be looking at right now. So, of course, there's been some updates, if we can call, since the moment that, of course, Lenny left Hasbro, and so they're doing a bit of tease about it, talking about it, and of course they did an important name drop for a figure, and we're going to get Gran Slam is officially joining the classified line in 2026. Now, is he joining in 2026, shipping in 2027, or is he joining in 26 and coming at the end of this year? So of course it is, stay tuned, and you're going to be seeing, of course, more information. So I put those in the wrong order because this was the first part about it. So yeah, it's interesting that they're coming out to talk about it, but again, you can see that there's not much going on talking about what's really happened behind closed doors. But again, they kind of brush off and move quickly past the fact that Lenny is moving over. And again, I'm kind of interested to see what G.I. June is going to give as videos for us, and let's see where they're going. But again, everything we're going to be seeing will have the Lenny footprints on it, or fingerprints on everything that's going to be coming out for the next year or even longer. So I'm not really going to be making much hope in seeing any changes. They might course correct a few little things with the new person who's going to be taking over, but again, that's going to be a way longer down the road to be able to see what he's going to bring to the G.I. Joe Classifieds franchise. So, are you going to be picking up any of these figures? What do you think about Sylvester Stallone's Rocky 4 figure? Do you think the head sculpt is totally off like I do, or is my eyesight getting worse since I'm getting older? So let me know in the comment section, and let's start a conversation around our favorite hobbies. So that's going to be it for this week in Action Figure News, episode 36. If you like this kind of videos, please leave a like, share, comment in the section. If you have any suggestions, you can also leave them. If you want to go and check out my Facebook page, Instagram page, the links are in the description. If you want to pre-order anything from Hot Toys, I also have an affiliated link with them, so if you want to use it so I can get some extra points, it will help the channel go forward. And I would like to thank you very much if you're using the affiliated link. Until then, of course, I'm going to wish you a fantastic Sunday if you're watching this video on Sunday, and if you're watching it any other day of the week, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!